you look at the odds right now, pennstakes.com sent out some odds. Faulkner and Sullivan are tied for the leaders to take over as like a full-time gig here after the season. Byron Leftwich is in second place. And then a little ways down is a bit of a shocking name here. Ben Roethlisberger has a 5.4% chance to claim the OC job after the season. He's the sixth highest odds for the Pittsburgh Steelers in these early releases, early favorites. I mean, what one's more realistic? Let's go with that one. The one of these two taking over after the season. Leftwich coming in here after reports earlier in the season, and you know, we've talked to sources. Me and you have both talked to people who have had conversations or no insight about the Byron Leftwich situation, who have said he's called, they have not answered. They have been like, no, we're good for right now. Or Ben coming in here off the streets, slapping down the podcast mic, that's over for the time being, and drawing some plays in the dirt for the Pittsburgh Steelers moving forward. What one's the most realistic scenario for the Steelers right now?
Well, Leftwich has to be, right? Like, I mean, he's the only one of these guys with actual, I mean, I guess Mike Sullivan has offensive coordinator experience in the NFL, but barely. I mean, like, nothing compared to what Leftwich has. So I feel like Byron's definitely the most likely, probably followed by Sullivan, then Faulkner, and Ben is a long shot for a reason, I would say. I think this is a conversation that's come up a couple times, and I'm pretty anti-Coach Ben, you know? I think I've been pretty consistent with that on this podcast throughout. I just don't. No thanks. No, I'm good.
I think if you ask Yinzers right now, he'd be the only one. Only one.
Yeah, it'd be the only person they think of. But I don't know how well that would work out, especially I don't think I could see Ben being a real, you know, leader of men or something and developing a young quarterback, like developing his replacement. Like I don't know about that. That seems just like a dynamic that might not work out long term. But Leftwich, I mean, yeah, I remember talking about Leftwich, and he was just like offering himself up in the middle of the season and was like, job's not really open. So I don't know if you can really do that. That's not really how you apply for a job. Yeah. But I think he's got all like the relevant experience, and he's done well. You know, when he has been an offensive coordinator, he's got a stamp of approval from Bruce Arians, who's in my opinion, a really good coach. Like I think he's got all the bona fides. So I feel like that's a prime candidate. I mean, I don't know who else is out there, but he's got to be someone that they're considering, especially because he has a demonstrated interest in the job. Like that's a plus as well. I mean, not the Steelers will be, you know, I don't think anyone will be shooing away the Steelers if they want an offensive coordinator job, but still, I mean, the fact that this guy's so enthusiastic, has a connection to the organization, and has wanted this job for a while. I mean, I think that says something about it as well.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I don't know who it was, but I saw somebody aggregate it saying that some analyst somewhere was like, nobody's going to want the Steelers job. Why would you want to walk in? I'm like, what are you talking about? Everybody in the world would want to steal. Like, everybody in the world would want the Pittsburgh Steelers job. It is.
I mean, there are 32 of these jobs in
that's
the
what
NFL,
I'm saying.
So it's like, you're going to turn down this one because you think you're going to get another one? Like, what are you talking about? This is
And on a team, like, I mean, you could say whatever you want about how bad the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is right now, but I mean, this team is constantly in the playoff hunt. Like and just know, like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but if I was an offensive coordinator in the NFL, I think I would believe that I could turn any offense into a phenomenal offense. I'd be like, you could give me 11 guys off the streets, I'll figure it out, you know? And I don't think anybody's sitting around going, oh man, dude, this playoff team, you're telling me with a great defense, I don't want to go there. Screw that, man. Why would I want to do that? Like,
Right. Like, first of all, the bar is so low. Like, you can score 22 points a game, and
you're a hero.
Right. And the other thing is, like, boy, if you're trying to get another job and a team sees you turn down this one because you think it's like too difficult, like what? Yeah. Like, that would be a red flag for me if I was hiring someone and they were like, no, Steelers job, too tough. You know, like, young quarterback, some superstar receivers, like
superstar receivers, great running back.
Right.
Offensive line with some young key pieces to it. Like, You know, the offensive
Right.
line might have some holes, but like you got Broderick Jones at bare minimum. You have Broderick Jones and James Daniels and Isaac Seumalo, who's only 29 years old. Like
Yeah.
you got
If you
two
can't work
great
with
running
that,
backs, a good tight end, and 2-star wide receivers. Oh man, dude, that sounds like a nightmare.
right.
Nightmare.
Right. If you can't work with that, then I'm sorry, but you're not getting a coordinator job anywhere.
Yeah,
Like,
a defense that leads the league in turnovers and holds teams most times to under 20 points, and the one of the best head coaches in football. But man, dude, and a kicker who's automatic. But like that's the quarterback situation. Nobody wants to be there. That's just I heard that I was like, what are we talking about? When it comes to realistic options, I want to agree with you that Leftwich is like the most realistic, I guess. But the fact that the Steelers like don't have interest in him right now or didn't have interest in him last season, and the way he ended in Tampa Bay makes it like a blurred line for me. Like I just kind of look at it like maybe, like in my head it makes sense. Maybe in their head it doesn't make sense. Maybe somewhere they're looking at it how some Steelers fans are looking at it and going, I don't want anybody. The next hire for the Pittsburgh Steelers should never, ever, ever in a million years have lived in the city of Pittsburgh, worn a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey, associated themselves with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This has got to be a fresh start. And I would say that is a great move by the organization to just say, like, I don't want any connection. Let's just clean slate. You don't even know who Mike Tomlin is. The next guy coming in here shouldn't have any idea. Should have never talked to Mike Tomlin in his life. Below, so just on the same list, above Ben Roethlisberger is Cowboys quarterback coach Scott Tolzien and Eagles quarterback coach Alec Tanney, and then below him is former Arizona Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury. And I got to say that if I'm picking any of those guys on that list, Cliff Kingsbury is not a bad name to get out here. I know that he didn't have the greatest coaching career, but what that guy could do with an offense at times is pretty ridiculous. There's also like there's a bunch of names out there. Like the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree is still out there, and I don't know. I think that you go something like that, but I think I agree with you. Like of all of them, Leftwich would be the one. I would not put any stake in Faulkner or Sullivan being the guy. I just don't think that the Steelers want that, and I also think that they know it's a PR nightmare if they make one of those guys the permanent OC. Leftwich makes a lot of sense. I think you got to go. I think you got to go outside the organization.
yeah, I do too. I mean, I kind of agree with it feels a little silly, but like the whole fresh start thing, I think you have to do that. I think it's got to be someone who's young. I think it's got to be someone who's innovative. I mean, these are all the words that I think that people use to describe Matt Canada. So be careful with that. But
I can tell you right now that when he was hired, I did not hear maybe young. I heard young. The
you
other
didn't
one,
hear innovative. I feel like innovative was like his whole thing, like all the motions and the shovel passes, and like he was a little quirky, like
quirky. Yeah, I guess some people. There were a lot of critics of Matt Canada when he got fired. At least here, like a lot of people that were like, "Oh, this guy, man, don't hire in house." They were very not about Matt Canada, which definitely didn't help his time here. But yeah, I think you need, and I think people would have the same thought if you like hired like a coach like Kingsbury who like didn't succeed. Whereas I'm like, I think you could go hire like a tight ends coach somewhere that nobody's ever heard of, and there'll be a lot of people that'd be like, hell yeah, man, that guy, that guy's the one, just because they have no idea, and that's okay for them.
Yeah, like an unknown is like better than if there's like a track record of. But also like Cliff Kingsbury, like his problem was never the offense, like
agreed.
As a head coach anywhere in his career, like that guy can coach, that guy can draw up some plays. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm all about that. Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I feel like people want a track record. They want someone who's proven that they can do this at the NFL level. Because I don't think that Matt Canada had that when he came to Pittsburgh. He didn't have that when he left Pittsburgh either. But he doesn't really have a track record of being able to like coordinate successful NFL offenses. And I think that's what Steelers fans want the most, is they want to know that there's at least like a baseline of competency, that they're not betting on something that no one's seen before,
Yes.
Yeah,
I
like
agree.
they want something real, want something they can grab onto and they just want to feel, I think, comforted by the fact that someone who knows what they're doing is coming in.
Yes, somebody who knows what they're doing, who doesn't have a connection to the team already, I think would be the perfect mix. Like, you know what I mean? A fresh face who has some success behind him, you know, who they could be like, this guy, you know, this is it. This is a new era of Pittsburgh Steelers football, instead of feeling like you're drawing from the past. I agree. I think that would be the best case scenario. We don't have to dive into this, but you know, just to bring up a reminder, and we can talk about this more on Friday, but remember a couple weeks ago when we were talking about John Gruden being the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive coordinator? Just
I tried to force that out of my mind.
I'm just saying. It was tossed out there. There is a Pittsburgh Steelers insider by the name of Jerry Dulac who says, hey, maybe. So